Broke my phone screen, I don't wanna talk now. Yeah, I'm hit the wall, just barely missed the window. And she said, it's all fine, it's fine with me. Why would I leave? Why would I leave? I will show you the scars on my face. They never wash away. Let go is where I drag you down to. I'm way close to it. I swear this isn't safe. You gotta go stand around me no more. No more.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to both the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Hopefully my earbuds will both connect together at the same time in a moment. There we go. Okay. We are here on this Wednesday morning to bring back the coffee stream. That's what we're doing here. And the coffee stream is going to mostly be focusing on Canadian politics, especially because this is an election year and because there is so much psycho bullshit going on in the House of Commons. I would say we should try to multi-stream to kick as well, but I don't know if I can handle 3 chats. Yeah. Maybe I could switch between YouTube chat and kick chat on my phone, maybe. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work. So, but I will sprinkle in other videos and other topics as well. I won't just be focusing on Canadian politics, but Canadian politics is going to be a big part of it. Good morning, Britt Zillington. How are you doing this fine morning? I hope you're doing well. And so yes, I've got 3 Can Poly things to talk about, but we've also got something that we're going to take a look at first, just as something to kind of laugh about, just as a kind of an opener. But before we get there, I do want to give you guys a heads up. I have one of my kids home. He's got a bit of a cold going on. I've got him set up playing Minecraft on the couch right now, and I fed him before we went live here, so he should be okay, but I'm gonna be keeping my ears peeled for him, so just as a warning. But yes, nobody else is covering the circus that is question period. So that is the one main thing that I will be bringing here every day to the coffee stream is question period. And when they take a break in the summertime, then I will, find things to cover also, obviously. But we, for the most part, when Parliament's in session, we'll be covering question period and the shit that goes on in question period. So, I hope that is appealing to you guys. This is really messing me up, having my coffee on the left side. But I'm still using my right hand. Ha 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 ha. Joke's on you. Okay. So, let's see here. We're going to switch over here to our wonderful live scene. Let's make sure that I am switched over to the live scene. Okay. So, we have a TikTok. See, not all TikToks are bad. This one exposed a scam. Apparently, there was a baker. Well, we'll just let the video tell us, and we'll laugh together, okay? Here we go. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Let's take a look.
Bakery was just called out on TikTok for selling repackaged Dunkin' Donuts as vegan, gluten-free donuts for
Yeah, that's totally not what Dunkin' Donuts are, but let's go ahead.
on TikTok for selling repackaged Dunkin' Donuts as vegan, gluten-free donuts for a marked up price, and it's slowly just turning into another pink sauce or pickle girl saga. Well, this whole story starts off with a small business owner by the name of Michelle Siriani, who owns a small business by the name of the Savory Fig.
The Savory Fig. We have to show that when you ask a simple question like, is water wet, the answer will always be, we love the children. Yes, yes. Mr. Speaker, did you know that we love the children, but that the leader of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, well, he eats babies for breakfast, Mr. Speaker. And we want to protect the children because we love the children. Don't you love the children, Mr. Speaker? Don't you love the children? Fuck.
She's been accused of selling vegan and gluten-free donuts that were absolutely not vegan nor gluten-free and straight up from Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh
I
my
do want to
God.
thank Natalia Slater for breaking this on TikTok, or else I wouldn't have been aware of this.
See, TikTok isn't all bad. It exposes morons like this woman who thinks they can sell Dunkin' Donuts to people as vegan, gluten-free donuts. And she's like, well, let's continue.
Vegan Donut Gate 2024. Strap in, because this happened.
Vegan Donut Gate? Okay, come on. That's cringe.
The company that called them out goes by the name of Cindy Snacks, and they posted this on Instagram. So first thing you see is, that's not really a good looking donut. But then if you notice the sprinkles, you have the Dunkin' Donuts colors and the
Oh my God, really?
D's. Fascinating. So first thing you see is, that's not really a good looking donut. But then if you notice the sprinkles, you have the Dunkin' Donuts colors and the D's. Fascinating.
So she's literally not even taking the D sprinkles off of the donuts before she's reselling them as vegan, gluten-free donuts. She's literally going to Dunkin' Donuts and buying, like, I don't know how many donuts you would have to buy to stock a vegan, gluten-free section of donuts. That has to be a lot of donuts at once. But anyway, she goes to Dunkin' and she buys all of these donuts, right? And then she just goes back to her shop and puts them in her shop and is like, yeah, these are totally my donuts and they're totally gluten-free and vegan, guys. Oh, those sprinkles that look suspiciously like the Dunkin' Donuts sprinkles? No, those aren't D's. Those are fucked up capital B's. That's what those are. Yeah. The two balls actually turned into one by accident for all of the sprinkles. It's actually a B. It's not a D. Well, you don't even have a B in the name of your bakery. Shh. That's just what it is.
And that's a whole nother can of worms we're going to get into. As the post reads, on February 23rd, the owner of Savory Fig dropped off the baked goods we ordered from her, including her donuts. In the middle of the boxes, there was a donut pictured on the first slide. I, John, immediately became concerned as to why this one donut was decorated differently than all the others and in such a strikingly similar way to a recognizable chain.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that this was just a lady. Like, I'm saying the lady as in, like, the owner of the vegan gluten-free bakery. Like, how many fucking donuts does she have to buy to stock her bakery with these supposedly gluten-free donuts that she had no hand in making?
I pulled all the items delivered out on our racks and stored them in the back out of precaution until I confirm what was or what wasn't happening here. As seen in the screenshots on slide 2, I raised my concerns respectfully, hoping a simple explanation with confirming evidence would clear this up. And here he writes, hey, I in no means mean to insult you or question your products, but this donut in the box with the strawberry frosting, these are definitely Little D sprinkles, ones Dunkin' Donuts uses, even the same colors as the Dunkin' logo. If these
That's, yeah, you can't. No, there's no way you can get around that.
Dunkin' Donuts, the ingredients could kill somebody, as we have so many people with severe dairy allergies that shop here. I'm concerned with the donuts this week and I'm nervous to pull them out. I will keep this conversation between us, but please tell me the truth. I don't.
Okay, so this is somebody that's working for her. Okay. This is somebody who's working for her and he's trying to talk to her.
Want to kill anyone with a severe allergy. Okay, very fair. Good on that business owner for actually looking out for his customers. So what did she reply?
Sorry.
These are definitely not Dunkin' Donuts. If you don't want to put them out, don't. But they are not Dunkin' Donuts. I don't mean to insult you, and I hope I didn't, but you have to understand the concern. Can you show me the sprinkle container you have that had the D's?
Good on him. Good on him as a vegan, gluten-free business owner. So he bought from her, I guess, to put in his shop too. Which, you know, that's normal, right? If you're a larger, like if you have a specific donut and, you know, people might want to stock it. So he bought these donuts from her, I'm guessing, and noticed that they were Dunkin' Donuts. And she's like, no, they're totally not. And he's wisely like, yeah, show me your sprinkle container then that has the D's in it.
I just don't understand why that would be something you would have or put on one donut. I could send you a picture later. I made a bunch of donuts for someone's birthday. Okay, I'm really not trying to insult you, and I really don't believe you would do that. I'm just really off-put by these sprinkles, as I've seen these at Dunkin' before. I would never do that. I don't think you would. It was just a weird thing to see.
This is an owner of a store addressing the owner of the supplier. Yeah, I've figured that out. I put it together
responsibility
just now.
As a business owner to ask. I appreciate you for being willing to calm my nerves by sharing the picture of them. I can't right now. I'm not home. If you don't want,
I can't right now. I'm not home. Wow.
I appreciate you for being willing to calm my nerves by sharing the picture of them. I can't right now. I'm not home. If you don't want to put them out, I get it, but I would never do that. The day's over now, so no worries. If you come tomorrow before we open, that would make me feel a lot better about this. Thanks, Michelle. Okay. She then sends an Amazon link with some letter sprinkles with the message, hi, John. I'm still out in Montauk visiting my boyfriend. I won't be back until this afternoon. These are the sprinkles that I bought for the kid's birthday party. Thank you for the picture, but this doesn't quell my fears. Do you have...
No, that's not... that wouldn't quell my fears either. Because that's not showing him the container of specific sprinkles for that specific donut that he's asking for. That's just like, here's the link to a company that supplies sprinkles that are letters. And I claim to use them. You know, like, that's not at all what he asked for. Ah! Wrong screen.
Do you happen to have a picture of the custom order? I'm sorry for asking, but I'm not seeing orange or pink D's in that container. I'm very concerned. And apparently,
as
she
he should be
after that. So, take that as you will. But continuing with the post from Cindy Snacks, Cindy and I, were not given satisfactory answers nor evidence, and in that moment knew deep down how bad this was. Still trying to hold out hope that our trusted fellow vegan small business wasn't doing something so horrific. We scored the internet for possible sprinkles dupes that would make it make sense. We even ordered the sprinkles she claimed that were the ones used.
Good. See, they're doing their due diligence here. I will say... Because they probably don't just have vegans that shop there. like they said, they have people with severe dairy allergies and gluten problems that also go there, right? So, like, they are doing their due diligence just in case, you know, they're wrong, right? They want to make sure they're not wrong and that there's no possible way that she could have somehow gotten her hands on the same color and letter sprinkles that Duncan uses in some non-nefarious way. Then they want to make sure of that. But so good on them for doing all of this background.
As you can see in slide 3, not only are these sprinkles not labeled vegan or even list the ingredients on the Amazon thing, they don't even match the ones on the donut. Yeah, here's the comparison. So, something's not adding up here. It may seem like the person's lying, but it gets so much
just
worse.
a little bit.
We then ordered an at-home gluten test trusted and used by gluten-sensitive and allergic individuals.
Okay, so they've got a... They are really pulling out all the science here. They really want to make sure.
These test results seen in slide 4 prove to us that at the very least, this donut, and most likely all of her donuts, contain substantial amounts of gluten. We can only assume, given this recognizable logo design, where these donuts really came from and what other ingredients they might contain.
So how can you call yourself a baker if you're not baking anything? Like, if you literally don't bake anything, how do you call yourself a baker? She's just buying shit. And isn't Dunkin' Donuts nowadays like a lot of other mainstream shit and Parbake? So, or does Dunkin' still actually make their donuts from scratch? The size-by-size comparison is also hilarious. The letters from Amazon are like 10 times the size of the D's. Oh God. That's crazy. That's insane. I've been guessing you could probably fit like maybe a couple of letters on a donut then.
We've cut all personal and business ties with this person effective immediately.
Good
we are
for them.
mortified that we provided any of her products to our customers and to our own family. We trusted a well-known, highly recommended vegan and gluten-free baker who's claimed to be working as a pastry chef for over 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know how you can, as someone who is, like, who claims to be a pastry chef, I cannot imagine, like, I have a family member who is an executive chef now, but he started his career as a pastry and dessert chef, right? I cannot imagine him, because his thing that he used to do was soufflés and creme brulees. He loved doing creme brulees. That was his thing until he had to do it too many times and then he got tired of it. But anyway, I cannot picture him just, instead of making a souffle or a creme brulee, just going out to another place and buying one and then being like, hey guys, here's this dessert I made for you. Like, that's just weird. Why would you do that? How could you call yourself a pastry chef and even consider going, you know what? I don't want to actually be a pastry chef anymore. So instead of not being a pastry chef anymore, I'm still going to claim to be a baker and a chef, but I'm just going to go buy my shit from other places and not actually do any baking.
Well, that doesn't look
All
good
right,
at all. If
then.
someone had celiac disease and ate that donut, that could have been the last thing they ever did. And I'm trying to understand the upside with this, because it's not like you can squeeze out a whole lot of profits by switching out vegan donuts with store-bought Dunkin' Donuts. We're
Not
talking
really.
like tens of dollars of profit here if she successfully pulled this off. But at what risk? Like, it just doesn't make sense. If these allegations are real, this is probably one of the dumbest scammers I've seen in a very long time. Because not only is it like this petty scam, it's this major food and health violation.
Yeah, like, it's it is literally the pettiest of scams, because that's petty cash that you're taking away. Even if you upsell them, you're not gonna bank money on, because surely you have other confections besides donuts, right? I'm sure your baking business is not based solely on donuts. I'm sure you've got other things like cakes and cookies and muffins and other things like that. So you're like, say you sell in one day 3 dozen donuts, and you've upsold 3 dozen donuts, but you paid like for 3 dozen, let's say you buy 3 dozen donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, that's gonna be probably close to $60 to $80. Maybe 100. Let's say 100. Because I don't know how much a box of dozen donuts costs. But we're gonna, let's say she goes and buys an even 100 dozen donuts a week. It's 144 donuts. 100 times 12. 1,200 donuts. Is she even gonna sell 1,200 donuts in a week? And as an upsell, is she even gonna make that much money? And then, if she gets caught, then she loses her business because she's had a food and health violation. So what's the point?
Just marketing Dunkin' Donuts as your own donuts, but they're also vegan and gluten-free.
Yeah.
When apparently they're not. That's just a new level of stupidity. But I mean, hey, it's fascinating to see what unfolds on the internet every day. But the post continues by saying there's a certain mutual trust and respect in the vegan community, especially small businesses, have amongst ourselves. We might all live differently, but we all have the same deep core values that consuming animal products is morally, ethically, and ecologically wrong. We are enraged that this trust and respect was broken and that we were unknowingly put in a position to perpetuate this betrayal. We want all of our customers and community to know that we take this betrayal extremely seriously and are looking into legal action. We will.
Well, okay. I on different grounds I would be looking into legal action, because they did put their customers at risk. So I absolutely would be looking at legal action only on that basis.
We will update with any proceedings as they come. Most importantly, we want to apologize from the depths of our soul to anyone who unknowingly consumed these products. This is our nightmare come true, and none of you deserve this level of disgusting perjury. I mean, hey, at least no one had a life-threatening allergic reaction.
I think she was charging something insane like $65 a dozen. Holy fuck, that's insane. So even, like, would anybody even pay that? Like, even in the gluten-free community, would they even pay that? Because I sure as fuck wouldn't pay that for, if I had a gluten allergy, right, and I really wanted a box of gluten-free donuts, and I looked, and they were $65 for 12 of them, I would be like, yeah, you know what, I don't really want donuts anymore. You know, like, I'm good. I could go buy, like, some groceries instead and possibly find gluten-free donuts in the grocery store. Isn't that a fabulous idea? Jesus Christ.
At least, but they then posted this saying, we have contacted the supervisor at the Division of Food Safety and Inspection from New York Agriculture and Markets. He stated that he will begin an investigation and notify us of the results once it's complete. He also alerted Suffolk County Department of Health. We are waiting to hear back from them about the next step in the process. We're currently looking into several other avenues to ensure accountability is met for the situation. We want to make it clear that we came forward with this information to keep our community of local vegans and those with food allergies safe from the future harm. We've seen our post and story reach all over the country on TikTok and Reddit posts, and while we appreciate the support and concern for how serious this is, we are not interested in being viral. While we have received many requests to do so, we'll not do any interviews or giving any statements locally or otherwise.
Good for them. I will say these people are are doing the right thing. They don't want to take any, like, they don't want, like, super amounts of recognition for this. They're not interested in, viral anything. They just want it fixed.
As we don't feel like this will serve our mission. We want to keep people safe and call out wrongdoings when we see them. We feel confident we've done that as best we could. But then the mother of the business owner from Savory Fig, she spoke out and claimed these allegations were not true. As Patch.com tried to get in contact with the business owner, but instead got in contact with the mother. And she apparently said these allegations are totally untrue when reached by telephone. In addition to that, the bakery's Instagram has reportedly been taken down and the Facebook is apparently still up. But her website is also taken down. But apparently people made a fake Savory.
The website's down and the Instagram is down, but the Facebook is not. Interesting.
Instagram account were just a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts ads and a picture of Elizabeth Holmes. And then her Facebook is just a bunch of people absolutely dunking on her.
Comparing her to Elizabeth
Here's an example
Holmes.
of one of her posts here of, I guess, her donuts. And then the top comment says, looks good. I'll have to stop by my nearest Dunkin' to get one. And then you have all these here, and so many more. At least the internet community is making this entertaining. If you don't want this to happen to you, don't scam people. But the business owner also apparently came out and said that these allegations are not true.
But now the supplier, Long Island-based Savory Fig, says the Instagram post is not true. The owner of the business, Michelle Sirianni, would not agree to an on-camera interview, but she did say her donuts are in fact vegan and gluten-free.
Yes, the magic. She has the inside scoop on the vegan gluten-free Dunkin' Donuts. They make them only for her. That's why she sells them at $65 a dozen, because they only make them for her, you see. So that's why she goes there all the time and picks them up. Because that's their deal, you see. She has that sweet oh, hold on a moment. I need to oh, silly boy. He had to tell me about a new kind of block in Minecraft. Silly boy. So yes, she's got the sweet inside scoop on the special vegan donuts.
We went to Cindy Snacks to see if they'd speak with us. The Savory Fig did say that the store's Instagram post was not true, but the person behind the counter would not comment. And after we left, this no soliciting sign was placed on the door.
Oh, okay. Well, the
They
plot
already
thickens.
said-
So for now, I guess we have to wait and see what happens.
They already said they weren't going to do interviews, though.
Hopefully, the original business owner comes out and just grandstands this, like in front of everyone, like she has a full press conference. That would be absolutely
she totally
amazing.
will.
She just comes out of left field with like a story that she had to sneak in one Dunkin' Donut to see if the bakeries that were buying from her do their own quality control. I feel like that's not even that far-fetched when you're already sending fake sprinkles that clearly do not match up with the original donuts. But it's definitely safe to say there's some questions that need to be answered here, but at least she's not being sued by $1 billion company like this influencer is, or facing life in prison like this influencer is. So you can check out those videos here and here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Well, that was fun. That was... I still can't believe somebody tried to actually swap vegan or Dunkin' Donuts out for gluten-free vegan donuts. That's just like, why? What's the point? Even if you're selling them for like $65 a dozen, What is the point? Because there are not that many people that are going to pay that money. I cannot see many people going, yeah, I'll buy that. You know, like that's rich people's money. That's a rich person's purchase. That is not a everyday person with a food allergy purchase. You know what I mean? That is just not something that makes any sense. Nothing like that just doesn't compute with me at all. And if somebody else can figure it out, I would love to hear your theory, but I just don't know. So, it is now time to switch to our Can Polly segment, which it was raining cactuses. Oh dear. I don't think it's supposed to rain cactuses, even in Minecraft. I don't think... Okay. You're so silly. With your raining Now I'm picturing a cactus taken out from the bottom and it's just timber! Okay, we've now come to the rest of the show, which is Can Polly. And we are going to take a look at this first short from Pierre Poilievre called The Great Tax Revolt Has Spread Across Ontario. And I'm thinking it's spread more than that. We've got 7 out of 10 premieres going, no, bad. And we've got 70% of Canadians going, no, bad. So, yeah.
The tax revolt has spread to Ontario, where now the Liberal leader of the provincial party has flip-flopped and says that she too is against the Prime Minister's carbon tax. Maybe that's because she read the Parliamentary Budget Officer report showing Ontarians will pay $1,674. That's more than $600 more than the rebate in that province. So, will the Prime Minister allow his Ontario MPs to have a free vote on our common sense Conservative motion to spike the hike?
Oh, shit. Good question. Good question. That is a very, very, and I bet you that is from Question Period. I bet you that is a clip from Question Period. But it's an incredibly valid question because it's not just Ontario. It's the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, who's also a Liberal, has asked for this to please not happen. There are so many, I think like BC is probably the only province where the Premier is like, yeah, go ahead, carbon tax, woohoo! So, it's crazy. There are so many people against this, and they just want to push ahead. Push ahead, push ahead. And it's just, it's so sad. It's so goddamn sad to, and I don't mean sad as in like it makes you feel badly for them. It's sad as in like it's pathetic that these people have so much evidence against what they're doing and they're just, nope, we're gonna do it anyway. And that includes the online harms bill, where people like former chairs of the Human Rights Commission are speaking out, MPs are speaking out, including MPs in their own party, like this fellow, Anthony Housefather, who is now going to speak on his future with the Liberal Party.
I right now, I've got to reflect on last night's vote. It was a very hard time for me, last night's vote, what happened. I will be very honest. I felt that the message that I put through about how disturbing the original motion was, you know, clearly didn't prevail. And whenever you don't prevail, although political battles, you have battles that you win and battles that you lose. That was a difficult one to lose.
Yeah, I bet. You did not want to lose a battle on human rights. So that's not something you want to lose a battle on. It's he's right. And especially when your own caucus members don't listen to you on something this important, it probably feels like a betrayal. And he's trying not to say that, but that's probably how he feels.
You seemed really upset about the last minute amendment that your government put forward. How'd that make you feel as a parliamentarian?
I think when you bring forward an amendment 5 minutes before the end of debate and nobody has a chance to debate it, so
that's
nobody's
shady.
actually seen it or reviewed it, it's bad parliamentary form.
It absolutely is. It's shady, it's dishonest, and as he just said, bad parliamentary form. That is not the way, especially right now, the Trudeau government should be conducting business. They should be as open and transparent with every single act and amendment they put forward because of all of the scandals that they have been involved in. I think he's absolutely correct. There should have been at least an adjournment on the vote until people could have read over that amendment.
I think parliamentarians have a right to know and understand what they're voting on. In all cases, whatever party does it. And I've tried to maintain a balanced view throughout, and I felt that wasn't correct as a parliamentarian.
Do you feel like you can stay in the Liberal caucus?
Look, again, right now I'm reflecting on what happened yesterday, and when I have an announcement on how I've ended my reflection, which could be whenever, I'll certainly let you know.
So yeah, he's gonna think about it, and I would too. I would definitely, like, if I was part of a party that just showed me that they don't care about human rights, they don't care about being held to the same parliamentary standards to which they would hold the opposition, they don't care about following parliamentary form, they don't care about anything, and if I still held those beliefs, I would not want to be part of that party anymore. So that's absolutely something to reflect on.
What did happen yesterday? What is your assessment of what happened ultimately at the end of the day for this change to be enacted the way it was? Why did it happen?
Why did it happen? Obviously, the government and the NDP negotiated an amendment. Now, was the amendment a better amendment than the original motion? Of course. But was it necessary to do that when I still don't agree with the contents, even of the final motion? I don't think so. I think we could have just voted down an NDP Opposition Day motion.
So it passed,
easily.
huh?
And that should have been, to me, the course that we took.
Do you think there's an effort being made to keep you in the Liberal Party right now?
I think a lot of my colleagues are trying to show me a lot of love right now. But, again, I imagine people want to keep me. I think they'd want to keep anybody, wouldn't they?
That's a desperate plea. That is desperation in his voice. He feels absolutely stabbed in the back right now. And he is trying desperately not to throw anybody under the bus. It looks like he actually has some scruples and some integrity. And he is trying desperately not to fling shit. But he feels very hurt. You can tell. He feels very hurt. He feels very betrayed. And he does not know where he's going to go now.
Is this the first time that you're actually kind of reflecting on your role within this party? I mean, this has been going on for a number of months now. There's been tensions in Canada, rising anti-Semitism. You've seen your government struggle to sometimes, or you know, come up with a position that satisfies everybody, and you've kind of been at the forefront of this, but is it the first time you're actually kind of seeing your future here?
I think it's the first time in my parliamentary career that I've had a reflection like this, where I truly felt last night that a line had been crossed. When my party members got up and cheered and gave a standing ovation to Heather McPherson and the NDP, I started reflecting as to whether or not I belonged.
Yeah. Okay, so he's talking about not the human rights thing, which he also spoke up about, the online harms bill, but he's talking about the Palestinian motion, where the arms embargo to Israel, and the only thing they changed was recognizing Palestine as a state, but the rest of it was pretty much they're rewarding Hamas for their behavior, basically. And so this is where Anthony House Father is starting to feel like he doesn't belong. And I'm sure there are a lot of Jewish people that are caucus members of both the Liberal and NDP parties that probably don't feel very good right now.
And I will let you know further how I feel over the coming days. For the moment, I'm still there. All right?
Whether or not you belong, though, like that's a very profound thing, and I wonder if you could just expand on that.
Why are you... Gee, I know you feel really upset right now. Could you, have an emotional breakdown on camera, please? That would be great news. Could you please, help us out? I know you're very upset. I've just said that to you. But I really would like it if you got even more upset. And could you do it right here in front of our camera with a microphone in your face?
I felt that Marco Mendicino, Ben Carr, and I were somewhat isolated, right? I think that it's very hard on an issue of identity like this, where as a Jewish Canadian, I am such a proud Canadian, as I tried to explain yesterday.
He's trying not to cry. This man is trying not to fucking cry about this, which is fine. I would be trying not to cry as well if I were a Jewish parliamentarian right now. But this woman is basically going poke, 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 poke. I know you're upset. Poke, poke, poke. Are you still upset? Poke, poke. How upset are you? Poke, poke, poke. You feel like you don't belong? What's that like? How do you feel about that? What the fuck? That is so fucked up.
But I also care passionately about the state of Israel, because it's the only refuge for Jewish people when they're exiled or thrown out of countries. And today, with the strong of anti-Semitism across the world, you need an Israel. And I didn't feel like some members of parliament, or a lot of members of parliament, understood the existential threat that Israel faces and the fears of Jewish Canadians as a result of what's happening domestically and what's happening abroad. And it easily could have been that we voted against as a party in the NDP motion, and we did not do that.
Yeah.
And then we gave a standing ovation to the NDP member who sponsored the original motion. And I have to...
The original motion that said we should recognize Palestine as a state, by the way. That's what he's talking about. The original motion. And this is gonna be the same thing in French without a translator. But that is profoundly upsetting to me. That he's a parliamentary house secretary, by the way. So he's not a small player in the Liberal Party. Okay, he's not a backbencher, right? He's the parliamentary house secretary. He's important. And he's sitting there going, I don't know if I really am as important to my party as they say I am, and I don't really know if Jewish Canadians are as important to my party as they say that we are. And that must be very frightening for him and for a lot of Jewish Canadians who are going, oh God, again? Like, you know, like, this is not a good time. And as long as Hamas is still there doing its bullshit, its blocking of its theft of humanitarian aid and its use of its own civilians as meat shields for its own propaganda machine, well, then we're kind of fucked, aren't we? And that's a very glib and sad but true statement. And it sucks. But we're going to move on to the big part of our stream at this point. Our main, and now our feature presentation. We're going to move along to question period. And question period is a whole hour and 1 minute today. So what we're going to do is because I've run out of coffee already somehow. I think it's because I drank some before my stream started. I'm going to go fill my cup again. And I will be right back. I'm going to make sure that the little one is all right, and I will return momentarily. Let me just mute and put on some music. Okay. We're back. And I have more coffee. Hooray! Now, we're gonna start perfectly at 11 o'clock with question period. And our illustrious Pierre Polyev.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Oh, it's the British dude. He's okay.
Conservatives have an excellent tax to axe a tax, build the homes,
Conservatives
fix
have
the
a tax
budgets,
to axe the tax?
and stop
I think
the
you
crime.
meant plan.
The Prime Minister is simply not worth the cost after 8 years.
Carbon tax are not worth the cost after 8 long years. The Parliamentary Budget Officer confirms that in every single province, Canadians pay far more in taxes than they get back in rebates, a tax that will go up 23%. Today, common sense Conservatives are calling for the Prime Minister to grant his caucus a free vote on our motion to spike the hike.
I like that idea.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, 8 out of...
Oh my god, he's actually there. Holy shit.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, 8 out of 10 families throughout the country where we've put a...
Okay, he's
federal
actually
price on
here.
pollution receive more money
Or
from
he's
it
actually at a good
than
volume,
they pay
okay.
into it. What the Leader of the Opposition is proposing is to remove not only checks that are delivered for families that help with groceries, with rent, with the impact of climate change.
What are you talking about? We wouldn't need these checks if the taxes weren't there. I love this. I love how they're like, you want to take this money away from people. No, if the tax wasn't there in the first place, the money wouldn't leave our bank accounts. Therefore, we wouldn't have to worry about it coming back. Do you understand, you idiot? Jesus Christ!
Doing nothing to fight climate change to build a stronger future. We are here to help Canadians with checks. We are here to fight against climate change. The Honourable
Leader of the
Opposition.
Opposition.
That after 8 years, this NDP Liberal Prime Minister is not worth the cost. And they're right. According to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, this Prime Minister's carbon tax will cost the average Nova Scotia family $1,500.
Ouch.
That's why the Nova Scotia legislature voted unanimously, Liberals, Conservatives, and NDP, to call on federal MPs
Holy
representing
shit.
the province to vote with the common sense Conservatives to spike the hike. Will he allow a free vote so
That's
Nova Scotians can vote for their
crazy.
constituents rather than the party boss?
That's insane. He's asking. So what he means by a free vote is he's asking the Prime Minister to allow a vote in the House of Commons on the motion for that the Conservatives have put forward to stop the tax increase and get the tax gone. And usually, so the Prime Minister can declare whether a vote is free or whether a vote is along party lines. Okay? So what Polyev is asking as the Leader of the Opposition is, will you, as the Prime Minister, knowing what's going on in the country right now, knowing how the people feel, knowing how many provinces in their legislatures are voting to go with this Conservative motion, will you do the right thing and throw this vote open as a free vote so that we can all vote with our conscience? That's what the free vote means, voting with your conscience instead of voting along party lines. So that's what we're doing. That's what he's asking for. The Blake Star, hi! Yes, coffee is a necessity, I agree.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. A family of 4 in Nova Scotia gets about $824 back in the year for the...
That's nothing!
The Canadian carbon rebate delivers more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadians.
No, it doesn't! Because we wouldn't have to pay you fucking... Oh my god. if we didn't have to pay the tax, you wouldn't have to give anything back. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like explaining this. It's like explaining why your child is wet when they're complaining that they're wet when they're in the bathtub. Of course you're wet. You have been in water. Of course they won't get the money back because we won't be losing it in the first place to your stupid tax. How many times do people have to say this to you people?
The leader of the opposition wants to take away those Canada carbon rebate checks from Canadian
Yeah,
families.
because he wants to take away the carbon tax.
Even with the price on pollution, it's a way of fighting climate change, of building a safer, more prosperous future.
Fighting
putting more
climate
money back
change.
in the pockets of Canadians, something he wants to take away.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Prime Minister has finally done something helpful when it comes to math. He says that his rebate for Nova Scotians is $850. Well, the parliamentary budget officer confirmed that the cost is
$1,500.
for the average.
So $650 more taken out.
$1,500 from the average Nova Scotia family in carbon taxes and give back only $850. Everybody knows that the carbon tax is just like him, not worth the cost. Will he allow a free vote?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you give back $850 if you're taking away $650 more than you give back. That doesn't matter.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, the Leader of the Opposition wants to take away the Canada carbon rebate checks that land in Nova Scotians' mailboxes, but in the pockets of families right across the country.
Coffee is like sharing. It's best when everyone gets some. Yes, like the coffee stream. So share it far and wide.
Where the price on pollution is in place, because
The price on pollution.
with the price
They
on
do
pollution,
better.
the carbon rebate,
Better.
they would. He wants to take away those checks from Canadians, and he wants to do far less to fight against the climate change impacts the Canadians are feeling from coast to coast to coast.
What climate change impacts are we feeling from coast to coast to coast? It's doing pretty normal things in March right now. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen a March where it hasn't snowed. Have you? Has anybody that lives in a fucking area where winter happens? Because I'm pretty sure they haven't seen... What the fuck are you talking about? What climate change? Oh wait, the wildfires that we found out were set by a whole bunch of people up in Quebec? Is that what you're talking about? Those wildfires? Oh wait, we can't say that. Because that's fucking the truth, isn't it?
No plan for the future, no money for Canadians.
L'honorable chef de l'opposition.
Speaker, the tax revolt has spread to Ontario, where now
Ha! Here's the clip.
Liberal leader of the provincial party has flip-flopped and says that she too is
There's the
against
clip
Prime
here.
Minister's carbon tax. Maybe that's because she read the parliamentary budget officer report showing Ontarians will pay $1,674. That's more than $600 more than the rebate.
But we're giving back $1,000 every year to Ontarians. Isn't that nice? We're taking away $1,674, but we're giving back $1,000
in that province. So, will the Prime Minister allow his Ontario MPs to have a free vote on our common sense conservative motion to spike the hike?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, families in Ontario are facing higher prices for groceries, higher costs for rent.
Yeah, so fucking take the tax away. You villain. Literally, you and Chrystia Freeland, you're freaking super villains. I swear to God. You're just as stupid as they are too. You're like, you know how super villains, they look like they're super genius and everything, but they always have that part of them that's just retarded. Yeah, that's what these two are.
That leaves them better off. 8 out of 10 Canadian families across the country do more money in their pockets with the Canada carbon rebates than the price on pollution costs them. At the same time, the price on pollution is bringing down carbon emissions, preparing a cleaner economy.
How is money bringing down carbon emissions? How does that work? I've never figured that out. How does money affect the atmosphere? This is a very new concept to me. Also, before money existed, how did the atmosphere happen to get along so well? If money has such a great effect on bringing down emissions, how did we manage so well while we were burning all the wood and coal and all that for ever? What are we doing? How did we survive? How did we survive so long? How did we survive before we humans existed to create money? How did the atmosphere exist for that? Like, what the fuck?
And putting more money back in Canadians' pockets, the Conservatives want to take away the Canada carbon rebate checks.
Yes, they do, because they want to take away the Canada carbon tax.
Fighting climate change.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Right from the Parliamentary Budget Officer's numbers, he says $1,674 is the cost to the average Ontario family, and the rebate is only $1,047. So Ontarians are paying more than they get back, just like British Columbians, where the NDP government is administering the federally mandated carbon tax. And according to the Vancouver Sun today, the budget presented by the NDP in that province says the carbon tax will raise $9 billion over 3 years and only pay back $3 billion. Mr. Speaker, that's nearly $6 billion net carbon tax.
That is.
Will he allow BC MPs?
Just a $6 billion net just from one province. Tell me this isn't a fucking money grab. Tell me right now. Oh, we've sent all our money to the Ukraine. How in the fuck are we supposed to get it back? I know, the carbon tax.
Politics and watching this question period, for reporters up in the gallery or anyone who wants to see a concrete example of the fact that the leader of the official opposition doesn't care about facts, doesn't care.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. Who's bringing shit from the PVO? Who's bringing shit from StatsCan? Who's bringing shit from... What the fuck do you mean he doesn't care about facts? You're the... Oh my god. Oh my god. He actually just said that with a straight goddamn face. Holy shitballs.
Doesn't care about facts, doesn't care about evidence, doesn't care about how the Federation works. He just wants to make clever arguments
He just wants to make clever argument. Okay, you know why his arguments are clever, Trudeau? Do you want to know why they're clever? I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a really big hint, okay? Here's why they're clever, all right? Because he presents facts and evidence. That's what makes an argument clever, okay? Clever also means a good argument. All right? It means that it is hitting its mark because it happens to be backed up by facts and evidence. That's what makes it a clever argument. You just fucking gave yourself away.
He just wants to make clever arguments to score partisan points. The fact is, Mr. Speaker, that British Columbia price on pollution has been there since 2008 and will continue to be administered by British Columbia, not the federal government. Well done.
Yep, that I was right about the suit. That thing is expensive. Oh yeah? So he's wearing this like stupid expensive suit while talking like this. Oh, this is even better. This is even better. I love it. I love it.
The Honourable Member for Belo-Chambly. Mr. Speaker.
This guy talks a lot. I think he's a block member.
The government.
Translator can't translate. Order. Everybody shut up. Order. Be children. Children. Children.
I would like to invite the leader of the Bloc Québécois to restart his sentence.
Oh, that is the Bloc Québécois.
Mr. Speaker, the government in Canada are loving the fiscal imbalance. The federal government receives more in tax than what its jurisdictions are asking for, and
that's a good point. And this is where we're seeing the fracture. The Bloc is not going to keep voting with the Liberals and the NDP for much longer. They are, because they are sounding a lot more like conservatives now than they, like, the French have some weird, like, they're progressive and shit in some ways, but in other ways they are very conservative. And the Bloc Québécois is starting to sound a lot more like a conservative party than a progressive party. So I'm thinking that we are going to not see the Bloc voting with the Liberal NDP anymore. And that's a fair chunk of seats. I think they have like 30, you know what? How many seats does the Bloc Québécois have? I'm going to look this up. We're gonna do a tangent here. Oh, no. How many seats do the Bloc Québécois hold in Parliament? Let's see. Current composition. So we have Bloc Québécois, 32 seats. Okay, I was right. It was in the 30s. New Democrats have 25. So that's 57 seats that add to the Liberals. The Greens have fucking 2. Independents have 3. Wow. The Independents have more than the Greens. That's funny. That's funny. I want to see where the Liberals are without the Bloc and the NDP though. I want to see where the Bloc is, where the Liberals are. Oh, I passed it. Where's the stupid table? Why is this site so inaccessible?
Screen dimmed.
That's not fair.
Double tap to open.
I would like... Oh, there's the table. Where's... I just want the seats, damn it. Fuck it. We'll go back to question period. So without the bloc, that's 32 seats that they will lose. So if the bloc starts voting with the Conservatives, that is a big help to them. If the NDP can't stomach the corporate spending that keeps going on with with the grocery inflation and the lobbyists that are in the Liberal Party that now work for Loblaws, then we'll lose them, and that's another 25 seats lost. Then the Liberal Party is no longer able to hold its minority government.
Provinces and Quebec are receiving less than their just part. Will the government and does the Prime Minister and the government recognise that Quebec's extreme deficit is fabricated by the federal government of Canada?
Oh. He's basically saying that Quebec is in debt because of the feds. That's big.
Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, in this federation, that is Canada, the federal government is here to work with provincial governments to deliver
which you're not
Canadians
doing.
Need from coast to coast to coast. We have made record investments in healthcare, in dental care, in
we don't need those in
two provinces.
You know what would be good? You know what would be good if you actually made transfers to healthcare instead of adding these programs that provinces don't need. Just make bigger transfers to healthcare so we can bolster our healthcare system.
Services that they need. I understand that the leader of the Bloc Québécois wants to make this a debate on Quebec's sovereignty, but the reality of the matter is that we are working very well together. We will continue to make sure that all Canadians from coast to coast to coast prosper.
Did you just go there, Trudeau? Did you just open the door to separation? You are an idiot. Why would you wave the fucking flag of... Hey. Do you still want to separate? Do you still want to separate? Quebec sovereignty? Do you still want to separate? What the fuck are you doing, Trudeau? Holy shit.
The Honourable Member for Belleuil-Chambly. We won't make it a debate, but he owes $6 billion to Quebec when it comes to healthcare. $1 billion for welcoming refugees. That's $7 billion total on an $11 billion deficit.
That's crazy. And that is all based on equalization payments and the Canada-Quebec Accord. That, like, he's not making that shit up. There are monies owed.
Everyone is against him, and he is throttling and strangling Quebec. Is he using that money to try and force Quebec to follow the federal government?
Oh, fuck. Yes. He's actually calling him out. Good for him. Good for him, because Trudeau has done this to other provinces too. Doug Ford tried to stand up to him during COVID for the some of the measures his government was taking. Suddenly they had a phone call. The two of them had a phone call. The next day, Doug Ford comes out and says, "Oh, never mind. They are actually good measures." Magically, then Ontario gets its equalization payment. Wasn't that a staggeringly fascinating string of coincidences? And nobody really called him out on that in the House of Commons. Good for the Quebec leader of the Bloc Québécois for actually calling him out.
You're right, Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, you will understand that when I talk to Quebec, When I work with Quebecers, I'm working with them.
Are you telling me that the that the MP that you're speaking to isn't a Quebecer because he's in the federal parliament? Okay.
I'm not working with the Bloc Québécois. I'm working with the Prime Minister of Quebec, the Premier of Quebec, rather. We had an excellent discussion on healthcare, on immigration, on economic growth.
Yeah, and the leader of the Bloc Québécois is saying, are you using this money that everybody knows that we are owed to make the premier have those good meetings with you where he's like, yeah, sure, we'll play ball.
We won't always agree on everything, of course, but we do agree on the need to work together in a constructive way without looking for petty squabbles, which is what the Bloc Québécois seeks.
Petty squabble. Dude, you owe a province $7 billion. That's not a petty squabble. That is not, oh my god. That is not a petty squabble. $7 billion is not that is not like you owe somebody a $5 for a Starbucks coffee, dude. That is like, I don't even know how to compare how do you even act like that's a petty squabble? Why is Pip translating? I don't know. I don't know why Pip is translating.
The honorable member from Burnaby South.
Oh, here comes fucking Jagmeet Singh. What are you gonna talk about today? Are you gonna gloat about being a terrorist supporter now?
For decades of liberal and conservative failure, Indigenous communities continue to live in overcrowded homes that are in desperate need of repair. The Liberals promised to make a major step forward to improving this by 2030, but today's Auditor General report makes it clear that the Liberals will break yet another promise to Indigenous people. So will the Liberal government stop spending millions of dollars on private consultants and make this serious issue a priority in the upcoming budget?
Okay, so this is an important thing here. This is what I talked about the NDP is not going to be able to stomach what's coming out about the millions of dollars spent on private contracts and consultancy firms over multiple different contracts involving multiple different projects. So is the NDP on that basis going to continue to vote with the Liberals in the House of Commons, or are we going to see a disillusionment of the agreement? Because it is not a firm agreement here. This is not like it. This is not a written in stone coalition. So if the NDP can't stomach this, they will stop voting with the Liberals, and that's another 25 seats that the Liberals will lose in their support. That's a problem for them, because then they won't be able to get anything done in the House of Commons, and the Governor General will have to say, okay, you don't have with your minority, you don't have what it takes. Parliament's dissolved. It's election time.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we thank the Auditor General for her report and are, of course, carefully reviewing.
You don't thank the Auditor General for her report. You fucking hate that woman. I guarantee you.
Recommendations to pursue a path forward that effectively addresses those concerns. In regards to Indigenous cooperation and partnerships, whether it's on housing or policing, consultation is at the heart of everything we do. We're committed to working in partnership with First Nations to advance these priorities.
Consultation is at the heart of everything you do. Do you have to pay millions of dollars for it? Really? Is that what you need to do? You need to pay millions of dollars to have consultancy firms to tell you how to be nice to Indigenous people and give them clean drinking water and give them, good places to live and heat? Okay.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Oh.
My apologies. The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Ha!
Indigenous communities are living in...
That was a Freudian slip right there. Did you hear that?
My apologies.
Oh my god, did you hear that? I missed that the first time. Holy shit, somebody actually said it. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Nancy's priorities.
Somebody just said thank you for your donation out in from the backbenchers. That's amazing. Oh my god. People remember that. Thank God.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. My apologies. The Honourable Member for Burnaby South.
Yeah, that was a huge, huge Freudian slip. We're gonna win, and we're gonna win a majority, and the NDP is gonna be the opposition. Yay! In your dreams.
Communities are living in overcrowded housing units that are in desperate need of repair. The Auditor General's report released today shows that 80% of housing needs are not being met.
80%. Holy
the
shit.
Prime Minister would never allow this kind of thing to happen in Toronto. So why?
Well, he is. He is allowing that kind of thing to happen in Toronto. What are you talking about? It's happening everywhere. It's just happening more in native areas, which is sad because it's happening so much everywhere that like all these reductions on like construction rules and everything. We're gonna see so many house fires, so many apartment fires, so many structural collapses. This is gonna be bad.
Standards for Indigenous communities. The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, that's rightly false. What has just been proffered by the leader of the NDP.
Oh, are you calling your partner a liar? Oh, that's not good. Don't do that.
Invested historic amounts to work with Indigenous communities.
Don't call your partner a liar there, Trudeau.
On
that's not a good thing.
On assistance to help economic prosperity. There is still a lot of work to do, we recognise it. But the progress that we have done on reconciliation and our partnerships with Indigenous peoples will continue. And we would like to thank the Auditor General for her recommendations. We'll continue to work hand in hand with Indigenous communities to deliver.
They still don't have clean drinking water. That was something you ran on in 2015. They still don't have, like, oh my God. None of the shit you've said.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
April Fool's Day carbon tax hike
of
23%
here he goes.
will hit Nova Scotians especially hard. The Prime Minister's tax will cost $1,500 for the average Nova Scotia family, far more than they get back in rebates. That's why Nova Scotia's Assembly passed a unanimous motion with all three parties supporting it, calling for federal MPs from that province to vote with Conservatives to spike the hike. One of those MPs is from Kings Hants, the chair of the Agriculture Committee, which has been studying the carbon tax pain for farmers. So the question is for the chair of the Agriculture Committee, will he vote with us to spike the hike?
So he's trying to go and chink at the armor. If Trudeau's not going to answer, so now he's trying to get other members to answer. Wow. Wow. They turned off the mics for this. Holy shit. Jesus. What the fuck is happening in Parliament? Children. Children, you're doing it again. We even had to cut the microphones off for a moment there, children.
So, colleagues, of course, questions can be asked of the government regarding administrative issues of the government, and of course, to committee chairs. It's important for Canadians to understand, though, that when questions are asked of committee chairs, it has to be regarding stuff that has committee business. That's before the
Oh my God!
So, in consultation, we realize that isn't the issue that is here before. So I see that the Honourable Minister for Housing is rising on his feet.
Wow. Wow. Not even the Minister for Agriculture. Not even the Minister. It was the Chair of Agriculture that Pierre was asking. And the chair's gonna vote. Anyway, he's part of the parliament. He's going to be counted as somebody who votes. Okay? So that's a fucking bullshit loophole. And second of all, why is the Minister for Housing answering and not at least the Minister for Agriculture and Farms? There's arms flailing and fingers pointing. Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man! Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And look, what the honourable member is actually suggesting is false. We have real-world data to demonstrate in provinces where the system actually applies, families receive hundreds of dollars more each year than they pay in fuel charges.
Bullshit! Where do they pay hundreds of dollars, or where do they get paid back hundreds of dollars more than they pay in food or in fuel charges?
The Conservatives pretend to care about affordability, yet they oppose measures to put more money in the pockets of families. They pretend to care about affordability, but they oppose measures that protect seniors' pensions. They pretend to care about affordability, but they vote against measures to remove the interest on Canada's student loans. Mr. Speaker, we will do everything we can to make life more affordable, including putting more money in the pockets of families while we fight climate change at the same time.
Yeah, you fight. How are you fighting climate change? With money again? Is that what you're doing? You're fighting it with money. Okay.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, that parliamentary censorship proves everything you need to know about this and everything else in this government. I asked a question
Good job.
of the member for King's Hands, the chair of the Agriculture Committee, who's now studying the painful impacts of the carbon tax, and the front bench here shut him down. Told him.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Sit down and shut up, because they had a better mouthpiece for the PMO who would stand and speak in his stead. Mr. Speaker, the question is for the member for King's Hands, the chair of the Agriculture Committee. His committee studying how the carbon tax hurts farmers. Will he vote to spike the hike?
That is absolutely true. It does absolutely count as business for the chair. That was bullshit. That wasn't even true about what they said about this doesn't deal with business of the chair of Agriculture Committee. He absolutely had a right to call that out. Absolutely. Good for him. He had that was truly parliamentary censorship, and I guess the arms flailing was his colleagues telling him to sit his ass down.
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Speaker, if the honourable member has qualms about the member for King's Hands, I can reassure him he is a champion for his community. He launched a petition release.
Oh, fuck off! You can't even let him talk for himself. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is crazy. Wow. He can't even let this guy speak for himself a second time.
In his community, every time the Conservatives ask a question passionate about the environment, it's to find out ways that they can do less. The member for Pembroke has suggested flooding in the Ottawa River was a result of regulations that were not in place. The member from Caribou, Prince George, has suggested climate change is not a result of industrial pollution, but of more body heat from a growing population. The member from Red Deer Lacombe.
Nobody said that.
Carbon dioxide with plant food. Mr. Speaker, this
it is plant food, you moron! Holy fuck. Holy fuck. It literally is plant food. That is what plants need to fucking live. Oxygen is their waste product. We need that to fucking live. Do you see how it is a symbiotic relationship? Oh my god!
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
He's absolutely right. It is a joke. An April Fool's joke. And the joke is on Canadian taxpayers, especially Nova Scotians, who will have to pay $1,500 in higher carbon taxes after that hike goes ahead. He says that the member for Kings Hants is a champion who can't even speak, who's silenced by his own MPs. Will the member...
Thank you! Oh, did they cut his mic off? They did. They cut his mic off, but he's got everybody stirred up. That was true. A champion who can't even speak. A champion who's silenced by his own MPs. Beautiful way to put that. Absolutely gorgeous way to put that.
The opposition has 10 seconds left on the clock.
Will the censored champion break his silence and tell us, will he vote for his constituents or will he rip them off on April Fool's?
The censored champion. One theory was the number of roads around the world are essentially heat batteries. That would make sense. Okay, the body heat thing is fucking stupid, yes. But the megacities retaining heat is a contributing factor. Yeah. You can't tell me that miles and miles of fucking tar road that are black and attract the sun isn't fucking contributing to the warming of the planet. Like, or the amount of, like, the megacities, like Pincalo just said, with the, you know, the pollution of cars and all concentrated in one spot, and the roads and the buildings all close together, retaining all the heat. Like, that's, like, the difference between when we left the region, when we left Waterloo region, it was like 30 degrees in Waterloo region in the summer is way hotter than 30 degrees out where we are right now. And it's only an hour difference. The difference here is that it's a small town with like 0 ginormous skyscraper buildings, right? So small town versus mega city, same temperature, a difference of feeling like 5-6 degrees in heat because of all of the just city bullshit. Some could even say the number of solar panels reflecting the sun could heat the atmosphere. That's why I hate these arguments. Yeah. There are so many things that we are doing that we think could help us save power that we don't know what the effects are on the atmosphere.
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and
Oh, kid.
Conservatives want to peddle false information information to trick Canadians into voting for them.
Dude, false information? You literally won't let this guy talk. That's happening in real time. That's not false information.
Proven, not by projections, but by real world data, is that people who live in my province receive more money every year from the rebates that they receive than the fuel charge that they pay.
Bullshit.
Conservatives do.
Order. The Honourable Minister has 15 seconds left on the clock.
Mr. Speaker, at every instance that Conservatives have an opportunity to speak in House, they do one of two things. Advocate to do less on the environment or to take money from families in my community.
Oh.
We will do whatever we can to put more money
Shut up.
the right thing for future generations.
Yes, liberals, clap as loud as you can to make yourself sound like more than you are. Hello, Costin. Yeah, that's it. Clap louder so it sounds like there are more than you. More of you.
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the question was for the silent member from King's Hands. He is asking
we've got Father Voice Polyev now.
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the question was for the silent member from King's Hands. He is asked to explain how he's voting for a carbon tax of $1,500 per family that only pays back $963 in rebates. I asked him specifically to stand and answer, but he's been shut down and shut up by his masters in the PMO. So once again, will the chair of the Agriculture Committee and member for King's Hands stand in today and tell us whether he will vote to spike the hike or raise the tax?
See, this is the thing. We went to Father Polyev now. Mr. Speaker, the question was for the member. This is just I love it. I love when he does that. It makes me laugh every time.
To please listen to their House Leader and the House Leader teams. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Listen to your leader, your House Leader teams. Literally, do what you're told. Holy shit. Wow.
The Leader of the Opposition knows full well the rules of this place and knows full well that members on this side are proud and pleased to defend the initiatives and the affordability measures.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Member from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan, to wait his turn to ask a question before taking the floor. The Honourable Government...
That's funny. Another MP tried to shut him up. That's great.
The House Leader has 23 seconds left on the clock.
The Leader knows the rules of this place and knows that on this side of the House, we're pleased and proud to speak to the affordability measures and the things that we're putting in place to make life more affordable for Canadians. But while we're on this theme, I have a question for the member of the Defense Committee from Selkirk Interlake. Why did he sell out the people of Ukraine in voting against the free trade arrangement?
Oh my God. Oh my God, you're about to cost people in Canada, in some places, up to $3,000 a year in 2 weeks, and this is what you're saying? What about Ukraine? What about Ukraine? Why did you vote to not let us send money to Ukraine? Because Ukraine isn't Canada, and we need to focus on Canada right now. Holy shit, the amount of people that just... Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Order yourself.
Order.
Children.
Ask the honorable government house leader to please have order in this house.
Oh shit. God damn. I'll ask the government house leader to have order in this house. Holy shit, he just reprimanded the government house leader too.
The honorable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the people of King's Hants, Nova Scotia, are learning they don't have a voice in Parliament because he has been silenced. The Prime Minister is terrified that he might stand up and get off script. He knows that the unanimous will of the Nova Scotia legislature, Liberals, Conservatives, and New Democrats, was passed in a motion calling for all of that province's MPs to vote against the hike. So will the member for King's Hants, who's the chair of the Agriculture Committee, stand up for farmers in his riding and vote with us to spike the hike? Yes?
No, he won't. Because he won't be allowed to. Because the Prime Minister is going to force his party to vote party lines instead of a free vote. That's what's going to happen. Trudeau is not going to allow the Liberals in his party to vote with their conscience. It's just not going to happen.
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Mr. Speaker, like I said earlier, the leader of the opposition, he wants children to be in poverty so he can find them more easily on the street and cook them up for breakfast.
Mr. Speaker, the member for King's Hants stands up for farmers, stands up for his constituents,
And stands up for children. 'Cause don't you love the children? 'Cause if you don't love the children, you eat them for breakfast like the leader of the opposition. Okay, I'm done with that.
Nova Scotia, and stands up for the people of Canada.
No, he doesn't. He hasn't done that at all. You won't let him.
To have him as our colleague. And one thing that he knows
Is that he has to vote along party lines. 'Cause if he doesn't, it's to the back bench with him.
the people of King's Hants do not need cuts, and that is all the Conservatives have to offer them or any single Canadian.
Yeah, which we need right now.
Mr. Speaker, the member for King's Hants is in the witness protection program today. He can't possibly
That was funny.
when his whip waves for him to sit down.
That's crazy. That is true. Everybody has a whip. I can't remember what whip stands for, but there is actually like a liaison person between backbenchers and front bench. And so yeah, he did get waived to not answer. Bishop! What's up, dude?
Which is exactly what happened a moment ago when I asked him a legitimate question as chair of the Agriculture Committee.
So he keeps wanting to stand up, but he keeps getting waved to sit down.
In his riding and across the country. So for a sixth time, will he come out of the witness protection program and announce whether he will vote for our motion to spike the hike?
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Nope.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Love to talk Canada down. They trap
What?
in fear and falsehood.
What? I'm sorry. Is there a mirror? Does somebody have a mirror being held up in front of her? I feel like there needs to be a mirror there. Holy fuck. I really feel like there needs to be a goddamn mirror held up in front of her.
But on this side of the house, we believe in Canada, and we believe
No, you don't.
Canadians. And that's why
You believe in tearing Canada apart.
The members of this house. And that is the inflation number for February, which came out this morning, 2.8% below expectations.
Yeah, because the Bank of Canada didn't touch the interest rate. If they had lowered the interest rate, then I bet you the inflation rate would have dropped even more. But no, they're like, no, it's going to stay at 5%.
In January it was 2.9. Within the target, our plan is working, Mr. Speaker.
Our plan is working. No, the fuck it's not.
The Honourable Member from Montcalm. In 12 days, Ottawa will cut $1 billion from healthcare if Quebec does not accept conditions that are its own jurisdiction. 12 days.
Wow.
When we're talking about sums that Quebec and Ottawa have been agreeing on for over a year.
This is another problem. The federal government is doing a lot of acts and enacting a lot of programs that are not their jurisdiction. The dental program. There are dental programs in provinces across Canada. Same with like prescription, like the National Pharmacare thing that covers diabetes medication. There are prescription programs in provinces as well. And if there aren't, there need to be boosts to the healthcare transfer payments so that the healthcare systems can be bolstered. We don't need federal interference. We need more money to the healthcare systems.
If the federal government's priority were patients, this money would have been transferred a long time ago. But no. In 12 days, it's either the acts or accepted conditions. The federal government is holding sick people hostage with the money they pay in taxes. Why not simply give priority to patients by transferring the money right now?
Federal retirement. I sure hope they get a budget passed. Well, see, the thing is that I really hope that we're going to see a vote of no confidence on the Liberal budget on April 16th.
The Honourable Minister for Health. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a bit odd. It's always the Bloc Québécois who are looking for squabbles.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Dubé and the Quebec government.
This is getting nasty. The constant pointing, like saying that Quebec just wants to squabble and argue and just taking that down, like the amount of money that they're owed to as petty squabbles. This is bad. This is a bad look.
They want to work with a spirit of cooperation with our government to improve the health of all Quebecers. And that is the reason for which there will be an agreement with the province of Quebec before the end of the month, Mr. Speaker.
An agreement with the province of Quebec that I bet you François Legault doesn't actually want, but because you threatened him with the lack of a transfer payment, he was like, well, shit, I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
The Honourable Member for Jonquière. We could talk about tense intergovernment relations if only there were relations. Instead, the federal government has entered the phase of just saying no to unconditional increases in health transfers, no to the right to opt out of dental and medical insurance, no to support the reception of asylum seekers. Finally, the only thing the federal government won't say no to is our tax dollars. But
right? That's the... See, this is what I mean. The Bloc Québécois is starting to sound a lot more like a conservative party than a progressive one, because they're getting more and more fed up with how the federal government is just blowing through all the money.
The Quebecers are entitled to have their say on what the federal government does with their money. Why is it so difficult to simply respect Quebec's wishes and say yes for once?
Because that's not how the federal government works when that's how it's supposed to work.
The Honourable Minister for Transport. Mr. Speaker, the Bloc Québécois has become the paragon of no. No to collaboration. No to sharing information. No to dialogue.
Really?
No to reaching results, no to
no to what?
No to collaboration, no to sharing information, no to dialogue, no
to dialogue. Okay. I've been hearing a lot of dialogue from the bloc, not any from you though.
Things to fail, but that is not the case. We are working well with Quebec. The Minister for Health is doing extraordinary work. Great meetings with his Quebec counterpart. They're not there at the negotiating table. They don't know what's going on. All they want are squabbles. And when it doesn't work, they try again. But that's
they're not at the negotiating table. They don't know what they don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Bloc Québécois knows what's going on in their own province because they are federal MPs and they're kind of supposed to know what's going on in their own province. Kind of like the rest of you. But I guess you're all out of touch.
The case because we are working together for all Quebecers. The Honourable Member for Jonquière. We might not be in the government, but we've just enumerated a number of budgetary measures. Because it's also no to full immigration powers for Quebec, no to Bill 21 on the secular nature of the state, no to advance requests for medical assistance in dying. It's almost on principle, even when it costs nothing. The federal government simply says no to Quebec. What a contrast. In this week when we are paying tribute to Brian Mulroney, who advocated a federalism of honour and enthusiasm for Quebecers.
Yeah, that is true. Mulroney, as much as he was kind of an idiot and he was a part of the Conservative Party, he did show a lot of respect for Quebec.
Does the government realize that saying no to everything and saying no all the time is exactly the opposite of the spirit? The Honourable Minister for Health. Mr. Speaker, it's only the Bloc Québécois that says no all the time. The Bloc Québécois is
nuh-uh. That's what the Liberals are doing right now. Nuh-uh.
With Quebec to make sure
not me
that information is present.
I didn't say no. They said no.
And I'm eminently proud that we have an agreement with every province.
Oh, they're eminently proud,
so
are they?
We can increase the quality of healthcare throughout Canada. That is our objective. We will work in a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. We're not just going to play partisan politics like they want us to.
The Honourable Member from Lethbridge.
Here we go.
Farms, a local producer, was forced to pay $62,000 just in carbon tax on his natural gas alone.
Ow.
$62,000. And what this Liberal NDP government doesn't understand, because it is so out of touch, is that when Canadians go to the grocery store, they pick up that bill.
Yeah. Farmer has to pay $62,000 on his natural gas bill. He's gonna have to fucking sell his product for more money. And then the supplier's going to have to sell the product for more money to get their money back from what they had to pay the farmer. And then therefore the consumer's going to have to pay more money at the grocery store.
When they go to buy groceries for their families. Canadians are already struggling, and now on April 1st, they're going to face another increase of 23%. Will the Prime Minister spike the hikes and axe the tax?
No.
The Honourable Minister.
And, you know, I'd like to say to the member opposite, I want a reminder of the rural top-up coming to the carbon rebate. So a family of four in Alberta is going to see $2,160.
Yeah, because they're losing $2,950. Holy fuck! Alberta is the province in the country that is getting the most fucked over, basically. They're getting close to $3,000 a year taken out of them.
A family in my riding is going to see $1,430 when they live in a rural area. My friends, we know what it's like. That's why we're there to help people with the carbon rebate. That's why we're there to help with the child care benefit. That's why we're there.
The child care benefit that the child benefit that the Conservative Party put in place, called the child tax credit, you just renamed it. You mean that one? I'm gonna point that out every time you guys call it out.
We know what it's like. That's why we're there to help people with the carbon rebate. That's why we're there to help with the child care benefit. That's why we're there to help with housing. We're there to help Canadians.
Where are you there to help with housing?
Before I get to the honourable member from Lethbridge, I'm going to ask all members, please, to only take the floor when they are recognized by the Speaker to do so. The honourable member from Lethbridge.
I think what's clear is that the Liberals have a dysfunctional relationship with the truth. Yeah. Then they actually get back.
That's hilarious. They have a dysfunctional relationship with the truth. I love that. Oh my God. This.
So for the average Albertan family, they pay $2,943. Meanwhile, they get back $2,032, which means ultimately they are $1,900 in the hole.
Yeah.
That is how much they are having to remit to this government. That is how much this government is pickpocketing from them. Why is this government doing that to Canadians when they are already struggling to pay their bills, make ends meet, provide for their family?
But we're not doing that because we're giving money back. Don't you understand? I know I took all of the cash out of your wallet, but I at least put half of it back. I'm gonna quickly do a bathroom break and check up on the little buddy. So let me just put this to be right back and mute myself, and then we'll be back to watch more of Question Period. Why not share the stream while I'm gone? Okay, we're back for more. And we've reached about the halfway period. Oh. I'm in the wrong spot. Haha. Let me get back to chat. Over on Twitch. Okay. Now.
Track position. 1 out. Ping Palo, the driving geek moderator. Wow. You should see the odd touch T and free put out an hour ago. Ellipsis. Holy shit. What? Bishop. Federal ping and.
I should see the out of touch tweet Freeland put out earlier. I will have to find it. So back to question period. We've hit the halfway part. So let's keep slogging away.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure what's happening on the Conservative side of this House. Maybe it's that they've joined the Ag Chair in the Witness Protection Program when it comes to defending the and their pensions. Where's the MP for Edmonton Mill Woods? Where's the
Wow. Did you just admit to shutting up the chair of the agriculture chair? Did you guys just admit to that? That's what it sounds like. Children. Children.
Order.
Children.
Order.
Now. Everybody calm down.
The Honourable Member from South Shore St. Margaret's, I'm going to ask him and ask all members, please, to allow members to speak for 2 reasons. One, so that the speaker can hear the question or hear the response. And secondly, is because there are members who do not speak the other official language. And if they're trying to listen in their earphones,
they need to understand.
So please, I'll ask all members to restrain themselves. The Honourable Minister has 20 seconds left on the clock.
Mr. Speaker, where are the Conservative MPs in this House when it comes to defending Albertans and making sure they have retirement? They are silent on CPP.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe if you guys would stop cutting CPP and taxing the shit out of paychecks, then people could contribute more to CPP and then they could retire comfortably. How about that? No, you won't do that, will ya?
Colleagues, it's been pointed out to me on several occasions that question periods should be 45 minutes long. If we take up time from here, that means that questions get dropped. So let's not do that. Let's try to keep ourselves.
Why should question period only be 45 minutes? I'm confused. And I'm gonna try to find the motion voting for the tax.
I'm certain everybody would like to hear the question from the member from Tobic-Matquac.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll tell you where Albertan MPs are. They're standing up for their constituents and voting non-confidence in this government.
Yes! Thank you! Thank you for saying it! Thank you for saying it.
Military families are using the food bank, and I just visited one in Oromocto, New Brunswick. 50 families who are serving at Base Gagetown, Canada's largest military base. This is an absolute disgrace.
Say it again. Non-confidence in this government.
Their punitive, ineffective, and useless carbon tax. When will they finally listen to Canadians and show some respect to our nation's finest? And
he's pissed. He is pissed. Oh shit. This is good.
Minister for Rural Economic Development.
Mr. Speaker, I really find it quite rich coming from the member opposite, from Tomabacoquac, when they voted against a raise to our hard-working D&D employees.
Yeah, because that bill included how many billions of dollars to the Ukraine. That's why they voted against it. Oh my God. The fact that they're sitting there and just saying that it was just a flat out raise for D&D employees. Meanwhile, it was that plus basically selling the entire Department of Defense to the Ukraine.
You know, I also would like to ask the member, they voted against the increase for ACOA last fall when they stood and we had the all-night morning marathon. I'd love to ask him what he was going to say to the 106 projects that were funded in his riding that he voted against. Trust me, we'll be telling them that we have the backs for small businesses in rural New Brunswick.
Where do you have the backs for small businesses? So many small businesses are getting shut down.
Member from Tobic-Matiquac.
Mr. Speaker, I'll be glad
Tobic-Matiquac.
confidence in this government that needs to be replaced. This government has caused the inflationary crisis through reckless spending, and now they're hiking a carbon tax by 23% on gas, heat, and food on April 1st. If they really cared about Canadians, especially those who sacrifice so much in service to our country, they would listen to the well over 70% of Canadians who are demanding them to get off their backs and axe the tax.
Yep. This guy is a firecracker. Whoo boy, this guy is a freaking firecracker. This is good. He is good for content. I have to say, he's on fire.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, there is so much shouting today that I can forgive the member opposite for not hearing earlier today the good news for Canadians.
The good news for Canadians is that we're only giving back half of the money that we stole from you. And also, oh my God.
Which is thanks to the hard work of Canadians, and it has been a challenging time. Inflation in February is back to the Bank of Canada's target range. And
Yeah, because, oh my God, because the Bank of Canada didn't raise the rate. That's why.
We support Canada and Canadians. All they want to do is cut.
All they want to do is cut. She sounds so fucking arrogant. Oh my God, I just want to reach through my computer and slap her.
The Honourable Member from Edmonton-Griesbach.
Mr. Speaker, Edmontonians are experiencing a double housing crisis. Rent is increasing at the fastest pace in the country, all while we're seeing the lowest vacancy rates we've had in a decade. The Conservative slogan
That's not good.
To build affordable homes, and the Liberals aren't fixing the problem they've created. The NDP's Protecting Renters Fund would help save affordable homes and give renters the hope they
And where would the money come from for this fund? Where would you find the money for such a fund, sir? Your ass?
Will the Liberals commit to including this fund in the budget so Edmontonians don't go houseless?
No.
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructures and Community.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Member for his question and for his advocacy. I had the opportunity to be in Edmonton recently to meet with the Mayor and the Provincial Minister in Alberta, as well as my colleague, the Member for Edmonton Centre. We are working hard to advance additional funding to support community-based organizations that support Canadians who are living without a roof over their head. We also very recently had the opportunity to share an agreement with $175 million behind it that will build thousands of homes in Edmonton, including more rentals, which will help reduce the cost of rent and continue to support people who
How will it reduce the cost of rent? Just because they exist? Are there laws in place to stop people from overcharging? And also, how are people not gonna overcharge for rent if mortgage rates are still high? Because landlords still need to pay their mortgage. So how is rent not gonna be high still if mortgages are still high? And mortgages are still going to be high because the rates are still high.
Leave her at disposal to help solve it by working together with Edmonton.
The honourable member from Timmins, James Bay.
The European Union states that Netanyahu is using deliberate starvation of children in Gaza as a weapon of war. Human rights
okay. Okay.
Groups have spoken out against targeting of journalists, civilians, hospitals, aid workers, and the UN has called out for Canada for complicity in this because we provide the military weapons to Israel. Last night, Parliament called for an end to military aid to Netanyahu's government, and yet numerous military supply deals are still in the works. So will the minister respect Parliament and tell us whether or not deals like the guns from Colt and Kitchener and armed vehicles from Rochelle and Brampton will be sent to Israel? Yes or no?
Wow. Okay. I didn't know we were America. I was pretty sure that we weren't doing that. But okay, sure.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to begin by saying that yesterday...
Where's Melanie Jolie?
I was very proud to be a parliamentarian. In this House, we came together, 4 to 5 parties, to find a workable solution, to find a Canadian position that Canadians could be comfortable with. We will continue ceasefire.
Are you sure about that?
Not sell arms as we have promised, and continue to make sure that we bring hostages back to where they belong in their homes. We will continue to do that. I invite the Conservatives to be as engaged in this as we are.
The Honourable Member from Northwest Territories.
Mr. Speaker, we all recognize the crucial importance of accessible, high-quality child care for families in the Northwest Territories. With the increase of cost of living, accessible daycare is vital. Families in my riding and across the North have been eager to see this plan built out. To the Minister of
$10 a day.
Social Development, what's being done for the Northwest Territories and for Northerners more broadly?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because $10 a day childcare is untenable. It's not going to work. And the Liberals are not going to give the rest of the money that is necessary per child to ensure quality childcare. We are going to see humongous child abuses because we're not going to be... If $10 a day childcare, we're not going to have... I would say that the Liberals would fund maybe $500 to $600 per child per month, not the full $1,000. And so that would make childcare costs skyrocket for the center, which means they would have to cut costs on things like, certified early childhood educators or food that is nutritious for the children to eat, because most daycare centers provide lunch and snacks for the children, and they are usually hot lunches. So there's generally a cook there that they have to pay, and then there's, actual educational activities and toys, which cost more money than just stupid, flashy bullshit. And then there's, making sure that the center is equipped with outside toys, making sure, there's no way we can have good quality childcare at $10 a day subsidized.
The Honourable Minister for Families.
You don't have a microphone.
I met with Jude from the Yellowknife Daycare Center, Jennifer at Aurora College, and many others who were able to share with me firsthand the impact of our Canada-wide system on making life more affordable. As of April 1st, families in Northwest Territories will see their childcare fees reduced to an average of $10 a day.
Bullshit.
Saving them up to $9,000 each year per child. This is meaningful savings.
And how are you going to ensure quality care for these children? This is going to be horrifying.
Savings, Mr. Speaker, each and every month for the moms and dads in Northwest Territories to put towards the essentials that their families need.
The honourable member for Mégontic-l'Érable.
Oh, not you.
Starving. That's how they are. That's the explanation of the food bank owner in Montreal. People are waiting in lines up. There was pushing because there wasn't enough food. After 8 years of this Prime Minister, food banks are overcrowded because food costs too much. What is the Prime Minister doing? Raising the carbon tax on April 1st with the support of the Bloc. It costs a lot to block, Mr. Speaker. When
It costs. She can't even say it costs a lot to vote Bloc. She's. Oh my God! Find a new translator.
will they
Bring back the guy that started
23%
yesterday's
increase in the
question
tax
period.
slated
He
for
was
April
great.
1st? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. The survival of our planet is at stake.
Oh, fuck off!
Cannot ignore this climate emergency and continue to look
What climate emergency are we living in? Where's the climate emergency? Where are we living in a planet that has decided to unleash all of its volcanoes at once? Are we living on a planet that has decided, oh, I know, let's go and do a snowball Earth event? Are we living on a planet where every single glacier is melted and we are now a water world? No, I don't think we're living on any of those things. What climate emergency?
Two suns in the eyes. I would like to quote Premier Legault. He's proud of Quebec's carbon capture system. It's
right. Well, now for the price of a coffee, $10 a day, we can provide daycare for a starving Canadian child.
The honourable member
Right?
for Mégontic-l'Érable. Mr. Speaker, the survival of Quebec families and a growing number of workers is at stake right now because food costs too much. Food costs too much. Why? Imagine Quebec imports food from the rest of Canada. Farmers that grow food pay the carbon tax. The food processors pay the carbon tax. Truckers who transport this food pay the carbon tax. And guess what? Who pays the end bill? Quebec
The consumers.
families, Mr. Speaker. Carbon tax that the Liberal Bloc wants to increase costs Quebecers a lot too. When will they end this craziness? The Honourable Minister of Innovation, Mr. Speaker, while the Conservatives are playing with words...
Playing with words. Really? Playing with words. Holy shit.
We have learned that the UN has just said that 2024 will be the hottest year in history. And what we
in history. In all of history, in all of recording, it will be the hottest year. Really? Really? In all of recorded history, this will be the hottest year? You're gonna... And that, is that including all of the ice cores and tree growth rings that we can date back from millennia now? Are you even going to include that? Holy shit.
Conservatives, Mr. Speaker,
the hyperbole.
The planet is sounding the alarm, and that is why on this side of the House we're going to continue to invest to fight climate change. We're going to continue to invest in...
You know, they just explained how the entire transportation system... If they just explained how the entire transportation system or sector is going to suffer, then double their prices, they still won't understand. Nope! It's not just food, medical expenses, everything is about to get more expensive. So burn money, that will cool it down. Yeah, see? Apparently, the burning of cash is the right emission, the right greenhouse gas to level out the atmosphere.
Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to invest in this despite the fact that the Conservatives want to ignore climate change in this country. The Honourable Member for Bellechasse-les-Echemin-Lévis. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After 8 years of this Liberal government, more and more Canadians are using food banks. People are so hungry that tension is mounting in food bank lines. So much so that the police have to intervene to restore order.
Jesus
during
Christ.
food distribution.
That is insane. Can you imagine having to have the police at a food bank to make sure that nobody kills each other over a food hamper because that's how desperate they are for food?
Hungry. That tension is mounting in food bank lines. So much so that the police have to intervene to restore order during food distribution. The Liberal government...
To break out the barbecues is going to be a nice 3 months before the snow returns? Yes, apparently.
Raise once again the carbon tax on April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. It costs a lot to vote Bloc. Apart from making Quebecers suffer even more, what's the Bloc for?
Ooh.
The Honourable Minister of the Environment and Climate Change. Mr. Speaker, I think there are a lot of people who are watching us at home and just
No, there aren't a lot of people watching you at home, because if there were, there would be floods of letters coming into MPs going, vote no confidence, vote no confidence.
Believe how much disinformation from the Conservatives taking place. It seems to be limitless. The member just asked a question, and they voted in favor of the carbon price in Quebec. They were part of a government that was a North American leader that was under their climate denying leader. They've changed their minds and they've denied all their principles. This
Food riots in Canada. Yeah. Food riots, Bishop.
The Honourable Member for Bellesache-les-Échelles-Mélivy. I would ask him to read our leader's speech when he came to Quebec during the Conservative Convention. Inflation has already reached devastating levels, creating a cost of living not seen in 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, colleagues.
Since the gas crisis. Since the fucking gas crisis in the 70s, guys, has it not been this bad? Strangely, would you like to take a guess who was in charge during that time? Just guess. Oh, I'll give you a hint. His name was Pierre Elliott fucking Trudeau. That's who was in charge.
I would like to ask members to please stop speaking so we can hear the question. I would ask the member for Bellechasse.
Seriously, they're going to question the consistency of the block. This is going to get spicy. They're going to question the consistency of the block. This is going to get spicy. Oh, this is that was a conservative, or that was a conservative member doing that. But the thing is that there have been Liberal ministers today even that have been shitting all over the Bloc Québécois, which is bad.
To start again, please. Mr. Speaker, inflation has already reached devastating levels, a level we haven't seen in 40 years. People in Canada are now unable to feed themselves. It's shameful, but the Bloc proudly supports the 23% increase in carbon tax. It's already too expensive to feed ourselves, but it'll be even more expensive to vote Bloc. Can the government show some compassion and cancel its new carbon tax hike slated for April 1st? The Honourable Minister of Transportation. Mr. Speaker, Quebec's speech, is it that speech? Or
LOL, damn it, I forgot the barbecue uses propane and you can't afford meat anymore in Canada.
Quebec City Mayor, or was it the speech where he said that climate change didn't exist?
Well, we could always do a fire.
Speech where he said that he was going to turn his back on families, seniors, young people, students.
He never said he was turning his back on any of that. What are you talking about?
He said he would cut almost everything. Remind me, which speech are you talking about? Or perhaps it was all this in the same speech that was said in Quebec City. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. The federal government's unilateral increase in Quebec's immigration targets is a historic loss of sovereignty for Quebec. When Quebec sets its targets at 50,000, it's 50,000, not 60 or 70,000. If once the thresholds have been set, the minister wanted to increase family reunification, he should have collaborated with Quebec. For example, he could have finally proposed to lighten Quebec's load with regard to asylum seekers, but he never did. He wanted to force Quebec to increase its targets, whether it wanted to or not, When will we see a collaborative approach instead of a condescending tone?
Never. Literally never. There's never gonna be a collaborative approach with regards to freaking the Liberals. Do you know that?
The Honourable Minister of Immigration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday I asked the member for Belle-Île about the Canada-Quebec Accord. I should have been more precise. I would just ask them to read Article 13 for more clarification. Clearly, there is collaboration.
You're not following the Canada-Quebec Accord, though.
Responsibilities to take, and I will continue to work with Minister Fréchette on our common priorities. Thank you. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Clearly, no one is against family reunification. We're just against the imposition of irresponsible federal policies on Quebec.
Right? We're not against families getting back together. We're against people just being dumped into our province with nowhere to go.
If the minister wanted to, he would have negotiated compromises. But let's look at his record. He's forcibly increasing Quebec's immigration targets. He's largely responsible for the record increase in temporary immigration. He's also responsible for the inordinate number of asylum seekers Quebec is taking in without properly distributing them. In all three categories, Ottawa is unilaterally increasing immigration to Quebec with no regard for our reception ability or additional funding. Is this planned or is it a loss of control?
Oh, it's planned. It's absolutely planned. Don't you worry about it. All of this is planned.
The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Mr. Speaker, imagine you're a doctor and we tell you to take in 10 patients and they send you 20. This is ridiculous, and this is the situation Quebec families are experiencing. What I hear from the Bloc is disdain for Quebec families. When will they... when the Quebecers have and Canadians
This
have
translator sucks. I have no idea who is talking and what is being said
here. Trying to be reunited with them, it tears them apart. So we're trying to work in their favor. Thank you.
Honourable member from Mission Masquee, Fraser Canyon.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this NDP Liberal government, this Prime Minister is simply not worth the cost. When the carbon tax
another conservative BC MP.
The government is now sitting on $2.5 billion in collected revenues, while expenses skyrocket and businesses suffer under higher taxes and inflation. Wow. As the Prime Minister broke his promise on the carbon tax rebate, why won't he simply spike the hike, axe the tax, and give small businesses their money back?
Because he doesn't want to.
Mr. Speaker, the MP who just spoke is a member of Parliament for BC. British Columbia
So what?
Rightly proud of its place as a leader in Canada and the world in putting a price on pollution since 2008.
Okay. That doesn't. So what? The carbon tax doesn't need to happen just because they have a price on pollution.
This is a provincial system that the people of BC support. So either the Conservative Party is ignorant of this or disrespects the people of BC.
Wow.
When it comes to small businesses,
Okay, federal carbon tax, provincial price on pollution. Two different fucking things.
The Honourable Member from Mission Masquee, Fraser Canyon.
Mr. Speaker, it's not just small businesses that have been betrayed by this government on the carbon tax. First Nations and Métis communities are owed over $1 billion in promised rebates. In what seems like a sick April Fool's joke, remote and rural communities will see the cost of the carbon tax increase by 23% on April 1st. This means higher costs to operate schools, band offices, and businesses. So I'll ask
hospitals.
When will this government spike the hike, axe the tax, and give remote and rural Indigenous communities and Métis communities their money back?
He won't. That's the thing. They don't actually care about the citizens of Canada.
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker.
I have a lot of respect for that MP from British Columbia, but I am really disappointed that he seems
I'm
entirely
disappointed.
ignorant of how the price on pollution
I'm so disappointed.
There is no
What the fuck, are you trying to be a mom now?
There is no federal backstop on BC small businesses, on the people of BC. BC has an exceptional system pricing pollution, which the province has had in place since 2008. The people of BC are proud of it, and they should be.
How do you...
Honourable member from North Okanagan, Shuswap.
Mr. Speaker,
Another
$100,000
BC conservative.
is not chicken feed, because Richard, a farmer in the Shuswap, paid that out in carbon tax. To run his
Jesus.
farm, instead of buying feed to raise chickens and put food on Canadians'
$100
tables.
grand.
Now, this NDP Liberal Prime Minister wants to raise the carbon tax by 23% as part of his plan to quadruple it. After 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost. Will he spike the hike, axe the tax, let farmers grow the food so that Canadians can afford to put food on the table?
No. Because they don't care.
Minister for Rural Economic Development.
Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to be part of a government that understands climate change is real and understands.
Oh my god. Stop it with the climate change is real bullshit. Of course it's real. That doesn't mean we should starve ourselves to death because of it.
A government that is fighting climate change, so my little granddaughter can say, Nanny, you tried to make
My little granddaughter.
change is real, and it is impacting everyone.
Please think of the children.
The Honourable hands.
Hey, he's actually standing up. Holy shit. They're letting him talk. It's amazing. He's allowed to talk. Oh, wait, they've turned off the microphones. Oh, they're back again.
I'll invite the Honourable... I'll invite all members, please. There seems to be great enthusiasm to hear from the Honourable Member. The Honourable Member from King's Hands from the top.
Speaker, I'm glad the Tories stood up. They might not like the question, though, because the member from Carleton talks about farmers in King's Hands, but he actually stands in their way. He will not allow Bill 234 to come to this House to actually be voted on. And so I called on the member of Carleton to actually do that to support farmers. But my question, Mr. Speaker, is to the Minister from Nova Scotia. Can he tell this House, and indeed Nova Scotians, the work that we've done to adjust the federal backstop to support rural Canadians, and including the programs we put in place on affordability around home heating and heat pumps, contrary to those guys across the way?
That was not a good defense of yourself, dude. Especially when everybody in your province wants this to be done. That was bad. That was weak. That was weak. And Polyev's about to tear you apart.
The Honourable Minister for Housing, Infrastructure and Communities.
Mr. Speaker, over the past year and a half in our home province of Nova Scotia, we have felt the impacts of climate change more than any other part of the country.
No, you haven't.
Hurricane Fiona, floods in the Honourable Member's riding. He has been a staunch advocate for rural...
Dude, hurricanes and floods happen every goddamn year in Nova Scotia. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because of his advocacy, we are helping cover the cost of heat pumps that is saving between $1,500 and $4,700.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The provincial government is retreating on a policy that would impact the wine growers in his region. I am proud to stand alongside him today and will be for years.
Oh, wow. What this is pathetic. Now we've hit the 52-minute mark. Are they gonna rein it in?
The Honourable Member from Edmonton Millwoods.
8 years of this NDP Liberal government's soft on crime policies, more and more Canadians are becoming victims to violent crime right across the country.
Yep.
The Toronto Star reports that carjackings have more than doubled so far in 2024, and breaking interest for the purpose of car thefts have already exceeded the total number of all of last year.
Jesus Christ, it's only March. It's not even March, isn't even over.
Concerned about their private property, but also the safety of their families. And I met some of these families in Brampton this weekend, Mr. Speaker, and they want to know, when will this Prime Minister drop his soft on crime policies and protect Canadians from real violent crime?
The fact you can say that and then endorse an additional tax and a raise to that tax shows how brain dead she is. Yep.
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, our government is always
Mr. Speaker, I am the Clocksworth Lumiere hybrid.
Municipal authorities and provincial governments to do exactly everything we need to do to crack down on this increasingly
Oh, not that guy. It's the Minister of Transport that does talks like that.
The RCMP are working in collaboration with their partners in these jurisdictions. The Canadian Border Services Agency sees 68 vehicles at the Port of Montreal.
Yeah, and they only scan 1% of the containers that are leaving the port. So you seized 68 cars. How many cars did you miss?
This week alone. And Mr. Speaker, we'll continue to do everything we need to do to keep Canadians safe.
Exactly.
The Honourable Member from Edmonton Mill Woods.
Mr. Speaker, what they did do is bring in Bill C5 and 75 that allows these same criminals to quickly get bail and be out on the street, sometimes on the same day. As a result, small businesses across
It's like catch and release shit.
Dealing with the higher taxes, like the carbon tax that the Liberals have brought forward, but now we're having to pay for extra security to protect their businesses and their families from property theft, organized crime, extortion, shootings, arson. This is a new reality for businesses and families in Canada after 8 years of
Gotta pay your taxes to the government and your protection taxes too.
Crime, Mr. Speaker, when will it end?
The Honourable Minister for Justice and the
I respect that member opposite, but what I respect most of all is that he actually wasn't here when we were voting on Bill C-75.
Oh.
That piece of legislation actually enhanced the penalties on summary conviction for auto theft, something that most
No, they didn't. Where did they enhance the penalties for auto theft? Where?
So I'll excuse him on that one. On the issue of mandatory minimum penalties, there's a guy named Ben Perrin. He might remember that individual. He used to be the league advisor to a guy named Stephen Harper. Ben Perrin has been on the record as saying that mandatory minimum penalties were a gross error, a miscarriage of justice, and perpetuate systemic racism. That's why we reversed them. I wish these guys would get on board.
Systemic racism?
The Honourable Member for Charlesbourg, Haut-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, car thefts have almost doubled in Toronto on last year, and 2024 has just begun. And where have the stolen vehicles gone? The Port of Montreal.
Yep.
I applaud the efforts of the Sûreté du Québec in February, but the federal government must do more. That's why our leader has proposed amending the criminal code to bring back tougher penalties for car thieves and provide the necessary resources to the ports to help them stop the crime. Does the Liberal government realize their strategy isn't working on car theft?
No, they don't realize it. Or maybe they do realize it and they just don't care. I'm going with that one.
The Honourable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada. Mr. Speaker, in terms of crime in my community and car thefts, well, we are prioritizing this. The investments we did at the Port of Montreal, it affects 28 million. 121 million for police assistance and another 15 million to help border services operate at the border. Our investment...
Border services operate at the border. Well, I should hope that's where they're operating.
To fight this extremely important issue.
It would be really awkward if they weren't.
Security in our communities. Thank you.
The Honourable Member from Dartmouth Cole Harbour.
Speaker, I believe that no one in this country should ever spend their days in pain because they cannot afford to see a dentist. Oral health is health. I hear from seniors in Dartmouth Cole Harbour that the new Canadian Dental Care Plan is going to make a real difference in their quality of life. Yet the Conservatives just don't care.
Yeah, because there are provincial programs. And if there aren't, there need to be bigger transfer payments so that there can be.
Can the Minister of Seniors of Citizen Services please let Canadians know How many people have applied for the program, and how many seniors will lose their dental coverage if the Conservatives get their way?
The Honourable Minister for Citizen Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very happy to advise my colleague that thanks to his efforts, more than 1.5 million Canadians have successfully enrolled in our dental care program. Today,
Yay!
those 70
The unnecessary dental care program.
children and people with disabilities can apply starting in June. In total, we expect 9 million Canadians to benefit. I do not understand why Conservatives want to
So a
take
third.
that away from more than 1 in 5 Canadians. But if we all work together, Canadians can make sure that they never have that opportunity.
Before I pass the floor to the Honourable Member from Victoria, I'm going to ask the Honourable Member from Perth Wellington, please, who is an experienced member, to not shout out his comments and allow members who have...
He's an experienced member. He should know better.
My apologies. Both are very respected members. The Honourable Member from Wellington Halton Hills, I should have said. The Honourable Member from Victoria now has the floor.
It's like an elephant sitting on my chest. That's
Oh,
how a child
please.
in Edmonton describes the air quality right now.
Oh, that's what a child in Edmonton is describing the air quality in March. I'm gonna take things that never were said for 500, Alex.
Canada currently has the worst air quality in North America. Our kids are breathing in harmful toxins, and it's only going to get worse with this year's wildfire season. But the Liberals are acting like it's business as usual, breaking climate promises while handing out billions to Canada's biggest polluters. And the Conservatives can't even agree whether climate change is real. Will the Liberals
Shame.
the interests
Shame.
of oil and gas CEOs over the health and safety of our children?
This is probably going to be the last question.
Minister for the Environment and Climate Change.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my honourable colleague for her question. In fact, we are doing exactly that. We're the first country, the only country in the G20 to have phased out fossil fuel subsidies. 2 years ahead of everyone
Oh,
else.
boy.
We're the only country that has committed to eliminate
Because, you know, fossil fuels are horrible.
fossil fuel subsidies.
They're the
We have
devil.
the best performance of all G7 countries in terms of greenhouse gas reduction between 2019 and 2021. We are working to fight climate change. We are working to improve air quality all across the country, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member from Skeena Bulkley Valley.
Mr. Speaker, this past weekend, Flair canceled one of its flights back to Canada and left over 100 passengers stranded in another country. No communication with them, no food provided, no rebooking on other airlines. They had to find their own way back to this country. Now, if this sounds like deja vu, it's because the exact same thing happened 2 years ago, and the Liberals promised to stand up to the big airline CEOs. So to the minister, will he tell these passengers why his supposedly new and improved
Minister of
passenger rights
Transport.
let them down so badly?
I think this is the Clocksworth Lumiere hybrid guy. Minister of Transport.
Minister of Transport.
Mr. Speaker, we will always stand up for Canadians and always stand up for passengers' rights, Mr. Speaker. There was nothing before we came in. Now we're in touch with Flair, we're in touch with our other airline companies, Mr. Speaker, to see what we can do, but we'll always side with our air passengers.
And so brings to an end of question period. Orders of the day.
Orders of the day. And that is our question period, you guys. And I'm going to actually look for the motion for the axing of the carbon tax. I'm going to see if that's been posted anywhere. And I'll try to bring that to you guys tomorrow, as well as tomorrow's question period. But that's going to bring the coffee stream to its close. I hope you guys enjoyed the shit show that I brought you today. It is getting spicy in the House of Commons. We are getting very much to a point where I am seeing a vote of no confidence very soon coming. That's my prediction. Definitely after the budget comes out, I think we're definitely going to see a fracturing of the coalition, And I think that's going to be something that we need to look out for as we watch this unfold. So thank you very much for hanging out with me today. I will be back tonight on Twitch only for the Combat Hour. So be sure you join me then for that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday afternoon. I will see you tonight on Twitch. Have a fabulous Wednesday. Thanks for watching.